Question 5. How do I know I'm making progress? One big difference between adult learning and learning in high school is how we measure progress. If you were like me, in high school as students, we thought progress was getting something done and handed into the teacher. It wasn't so much about what I had learned. Now as adults, we know that the reason we're learning is because we're trying to achieve a goal, a change of career, a certificate. Yes, we want to get it done, but we have to understand it and learn it and remember it before we can take the next step. So at ESU, we measure progress by looking at how well we understand and learn and remember what we've worked on. And we measure progress in lots of different ways. You can measure your own progress moment by moment when you're doing math by marking your own math work. It's best to we will give you the answer key. It's best to mark your own work often so that you can know right away whether you are doing it correctly or not. If you get one correct, then you have the control to decide to keep moving forward. If you get one wrong, then the best decision is not to move forward, but maybe to stop and figure out the mistake. This way you can catch a mistake early and not end up repeating that mistake for many pages, which ends up teaching you the mistake, the wrong way to do it. In terms of writing, as you learn more about writing, your mistakes will not disappear right away. When you proofread your work, though, you will notice that you're starting to catch the mistakes you've learned about, and that now you know how to fix them before you hand in your writing to your teacher. You will notice over time that certain mistakes that you used to make often will happen less and less often, and we call that progress. For reading, as you practice reading skills and learn more new words, you will notice that you will begin to understand more of what you read. You will be better able to figure out hard words. You will be paying attention to whether or not the reading is making sense. And you will stop and back up and reread if it stopped making sense. This is progress, reading to understand. In terms of digital skills, as you practice your digital skills, you will notice that you will become more and more confident with the computer and the apps you are using. You won't expect yourself to remember every detail in the lessons, but you will grow in your ability to search the internet or a manual for help when you forget how to do something, and we will forget how to do things. This is progress. When you reach the end of a piece of learning, you can find out how much you have learned in different ways. In math, different units might have reviews at the middle or the end. Test yourself here to see if you've learned it well. When you do a review, put away the answer key and do all of the questions without looking at any notes or any examples or any answer key. This way you'll be able to figure out just how well you've learned it and how well you remember it. When you're done, mark your work with the answer key. If you got most of them right, and we call that over 80%, then you're good. If you got more wrong than you thought you would get wrong, then this is a clue not to move forward, but to move back and to review and relearn the stuff you got wrong. For reading and writing, reading is tested by giving you a piece to read and asking you questions about it. Writing is tested by asking you to demonstrate your writing skills by writing different things like cover letters or emails. And for digital skills, demonstrating what you've learned can be done through asking you to create a sample resume to see if you can still format a page with indents, bullets, and spacing, or to try preparing a spreadsheet or a slideshow. You can check your progress also by looking at your training plans regularly. Remember that the training plans are like road maps when you're on the front seat of the bicycle. It will tell you what you'll be learning next, and it will tell you when you hope to get it understood. You can always ask your teacher for feedback on how you're doing. And the OALCF, the Ontario Adult Literacy Curriculum Framework, gives us two ways to show the progress you've made. At the end of Level 1 and the end of Level 2, we'll give you a milestone activity. This is a test prepared by the Employment Ontario people. This is your chance to prove to yourself, to your teacher, and also to Employment Ontario that you have gained skills to reach the level you've attained. At the end of your time at ESU, we will give you a chance to work on an Employment Ontario culminating task, a task that lets you bring together everything you've learned to get a job done. An example would be this kind of workplace task. You get an email from the boss, that's a reading task, that asks you to fill out a chart, and that's a document task, and make calculations to see how much something will cost. That's a math task. Then you'll need to finish the culminating task by writing an email back to the boss, that's a writing task, with the results that you've found out. In this one culminating task, you've had a chance to use many different skills to get a job done.